Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to RWBY Vol6 Ch7. So yeah, we are on another chapter of RWBY, and I'm excited for this one as well. We've been having a fantastic, phenomenal volume. And yeah, last time we had the apathy, and that was just brilliant. Like, I really loved getting to see a horror-themed aspect to the show, like a true horror-themed aspect, more than just like one single Grimm being kind of horror-themed. Because while the Nuclevi was awesome, and I loved it, this, like, more so than just the apathy themselves, the entire episodes surrounding them and everything leading up to their reveal was also themed in horror. It had that build-up, it had that tension, it had the atmosphere. And all of that is very important to making a good horror-themed episode, or episodes. And I think RWBY succeeded fantastically. So, we left off with our heroes there, just heading back out towards, I cannot think of what it was called again. Headed towards Atlas, let's just put it that way. They're headed towards the one city in Atlas, Argus, that's it. They're headed towards Argus, right outside of Atlas. Team Juniper were still on the train after it was separated, so they were still headed to Argus as planned. And with our villains, Salem had her little freak out, and so there's that. I don't know if much is going to happen with them right now, but we also do have Cinder and Neo now as a team, I guess. So I really don't know where this episode's going to go at all. Are we going to finally check back in with Team Juniper? Are we going to have Team RWBY finally reach Argus? And what's going to happen with Cinder and Neo? Because their story takes place, like, what, weeks ahead of time? Weeks in the future? So, yeah, there's a lot to question with that. I don't know. I know nothing about what's to come, and I like to keep it that way. So we're just going to get this started. I am pre-recording this back on Thursday, and as of this point, I do have to hurry up because I do have to get ready to leave for the bar and everything. But yeah, I'm hoping to really enjoy this one, as I have been with the past episodes. So, when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the links to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black, then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. Okay, we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. Okay, so apparently there was this one convention. I don't actually know which one it was. It might have been a Comic-Con or something. But at it, there was this RWBY panel where they had that kind of like, you know, Kizuna Eye thing, where it's like the CGI model that would actually move and everything in accordance to a person, like, controlling it via camera and stuff. And it's like, as the person moved and as they opened their mouth and stuff, the model would as well. It's the same thing they do with the Kizuna Eye YouTube channel and all. But apparently at this panel, it was a Q&A thing. And I think it was it with all of Team RWBY, or was it... I just saw Yang for sure. It might have been with RWBY too. I'm not 100%. It's been a while since I saw it. But at it, basically, I believe they asked the characters, like in character, of course, what they thought of, like, the LGBT community. And their answer was basically, oh, we're super supportive of it. We are extremely supportive. We're all for it. And it's very clear that the show staff have, like, teased, very much so, the idea of certain ships that the fandom have latched onto, such as White Rose and Bumblebee. And even, apparently, the manga, the official manga that came out, apparently there's one point in it where RWBY teases Weiss in a very ship-worthy manner. But the question has always been, would they ever actually, like, make it canon beyond just, you know, the basic teasing of the idea? And a lot of people have said no, because Monty's original plan, I guess, was to see this, the teammates of Team RWBY as just sisterly figures. I mean, outside of, you know, two of them actually being sisters. But a lot of people have still held on to the hope. And a lot of people have held on to the hope that we'd get just representation. And then we got Ilya, and found out that Ilya had a legitimate crush on Blake, and that she was basically our first confirmed LGBT character, being lesbian. And now we finally not only get more confirmed LGBT characters, but a straight-up confirmed relationship and a straight-up confirmed LGBT marriage with a child involved. So an LGBT-based family. We have Jean's sister and her wife, Terracotta. And I think that's just beautiful. Like, the biggest part about it, the best part about it is no one even slightly, like, reacted to it as being weird in any way. None of Team RWBY or Juniper seemed to care. It's just like, oh, okay, this is Jean's sister and her wife. That's it. There's no big deal made about it. No one mentions that, oh, yes, they're both girls. No one brings that up at all. Meaning that probably in this world, it's normal. And I've talked about before how I like it when shows and movies and whatnot do this. And even games and whatnot. Like with Last of Us. I like it when these kinds of things can be normalized. Because, let's be honest, in our world, in real life, it's not. It's why a lot of times we have to state what we are. It's like some people will say, oh, why do you actually have to say that? If you want it to be normal, why do you have to point it out? And it's like, because it's not normal yet. Once it is normal, we won't have to point it out. Once it is normal, we won't have to point out that this person is gay, or this person is bi, or pan, or trans, or whatever else. But because it's not normal, because society still looks down on it in a lot of ways, we do point it out as a way to connect with others who are like us, and a way to make it seem like we are something. We are people, that we exist. So, yeah. We point it out, but we kind of have to. But I like seeing shows and stuff, and games and whatnot, as I mentioned, where it is just normal. Or at least people don't care. People don't look down on it. People don't complain. People don't even mention it when it's brought up. Jean's sister is married to a woman. And they have a child. It's just that simple. No one cares. No one makes a deal out of it at all. That's just how it is. And that's beautiful. And I mean, I like their personalities right off the bat. With Jean's sister, I don't know exactly which one was her name. I don't think it was Adrian. I think Adrian's the kid, but it's like, I'll get it down eventually. But I like how she's just like a very nice, charming, playful mother. I like her how she's a little bit teasing of Jean, but clearly very much cares for him. And I like how Jean kind of confirmed that he left his family and wanted to strike out on his own because he was inspired by his sister to do so. That's cute. And it kind of makes me think of how Weiss is inspired by Winter to do a lot of stuff, and how Winter has definitely been a lot of Weiss's inspiration for what she's become and how she's become and everything. Which is why I really hope we do see Winter again at some point. But either way. And then Tara has a little bit of a playful side we saw. Like, when Jean's sister's, like, doing the baby talk, and it's like, who got blamed for it? Who got blamed for it? And then Tara pops up, it's like, me. In kind of this playful, silly way. It shows that they have a really good relationship. Even while she's on the phone, obviously with important business stuff, she'll still make a joke like that, still have fun. And yeah, they're really nice, really welcoming. I wonder if Sean knew that his sister was in Argus before they actually went there. It didn't actually, I don't think it actually said. I mean, I would think so, but you never know. You never know. Either way, it's like, this is really cool that we're bringing in these characters and everything, and again, that is normalizing this. But let's talk about the other big part of the episode. The Grim Reaper. Phenomenal name. Like, seriously, if you're going to have some kind of legendary huntsman or huntswoman, or huntress, that's the word. I kept thinking huntswoman, but no, huntress. If you're going to have a legendary huntsman or huntress, naming them the Grim Reaper and having them have a scythe weapon, like, that's the best thing you can do. One, the Grim Reaper, the pun on that alone is phenomenal. Two, the fact that a Grim Reaper, like, in just terms of, like, typical mythology and legend and stuff, is a pretty legendary, well-known figure. It definitely helps sell the idea that Maria, back when she was the Grim Reaper, was a really well-known, legendary huntress. Getting to see her in action also helps solidify that as well. Now, then we had Tak in that flashback too, and Tak, we don't know who was Tak supposed to be serving. Was it Salem, or was Tak working for someone else? I wonder if that's going to come up at any point. And so Tak, this Faunus girl, was the one who blinded Maria. She sliced her eyes. And it's like, it's not the first time I've seen that kind of thing happen. Believe me, if it was, I would have cringed so hard. Not because it would be bad or cringeworthy, or not like that. I would have cringed just because I've said it before, I can't stand eye horror. And the idea of getting your eyes slashed, like, even though I had seen it before, it still made me uncomfortable. But if I had not seen that, like, done before, it's like, obviously I would have known that could be done. But if I hadn't seen it done before, I would have gotten really, really uncomfortable. I probably would have, like, been twitching and stuff. But it's like, so that explains it. And then she apparently got a surgery, which is why she has these, I guess they're implants. I guess they're supposed to be some kind of mechanical implants. Sort of like how Ironwood has, like, half of his body replaced by machinery. Basically becoming the Tin Man and all. So she's kind of like a cyborg in a way as well. So that's interesting to know. They're not just goggles. They are legitimately her eyes. So when she referred to them that way, like, she wasn't just... Yeah, she was being legit. But yeah, it's just like... It's insane. There's a lot to take in. Because both of those parts are equally as important and equally as big. And I'm not just talking because, you know, the lesbian thing. Or, I mean, they could be bi or pan. You never know. But I'm talking about the fact that they reached Argus. And that it's leading into them trying to get into the military base to try and get help and stuff. So there is that. So that is definitely important. And then the stuff with Maria's backstory and how she got blinded and everything. And that's obviously very important too. Now, RWBY suggested Maria could help train her, and Maria didn't refuse. Now, she didn't actually say anything at the time. She didn't, like, respond, but she didn't refuse. In fact, I think she gave kind of this little smile, like, yeah, that would actually be really nice. And it's like, I really want to see that happen. I really want to see Maria training RWBY to use her silver eyes. Because I think that could be really, well, helpful for their cause, but also just be really cool to see. Kind of the way on how they were training in was it part 5 or volume 5, or was it volume 4? I want to say it was volume 5. Yeah, it was volume 5 because they were already at Haven when they were training before Jean learned his semblance and all. When they were training with Oscar and everything, and Ozpin. It would kind of remind me of that, but in a lot cooler, more impactful of a way. But there was the part we also saw with Cinder bringing Neo to the vault. Now, presumably they went in the back way that Cinder escaped from. Because there's no way they would have gotten in the front way through Haven again, not at this point. So, she brought her to the vault, presumably to explain to her further what's going on and everything. So, they're planning to go and obviously still kill RWBY. Now, presumably, what they're doing is still taking place sometime in the future, a week or two, presumably, from where RWBY and the gang are at the moment. So, meaning that Cinder and Neo could show up at any time, possibly. Now, the plan is that Cinder can't apparently kill RWBY herself. She's still under the idea that she's playing by Salem's rules. And I know the sun's starting to shine through. I'm going to finish with this soon, so I'm not going to worry about it. But, so she's still playing by Salem's rules. But she found the loophole in that Neo was never given that order. So they're going to work together to get to them, and she's going to have Neo kill RWBY. Now, this is still, though, going with the idea that Neo wants RWBY dead. Like, Neo blames RWBY for Roman's death. Neo hasn't, I mean, obviously can't speak, but she hasn't even, like, signified that that's the truth. In fact, when Cinder was talking about it in here, Neo almost looked like she was sad about something or uncomfortable about something. Like, that's not actually what her goal here is. I think it'd be interesting for that to be the reveal. Like, they go to kill RWBY, and we find out that that's not actually what Neo's trying to do. That Neo has some other goal here, and that she's only choosing to work with Cinder at the moment for mutual, well, my mind is blanking on certain words. Just to accomplish her goal. It'd be interesting for sure. Either way, this is, yeah, really starting to get good. I can't wait to see other people's reactions to Jean's sister and her wife. I really, really am excited about that. Like, you have no idea. Anytime this kind of thing happens, and especially because, I've mentioned it before, but I run a panel at conventions, especially YomaCon every year, called LGBT Representation in Media. And I'm always looking for new examples to use. And RWBY, like, easily ranks as one of my favorite shows of all time. And so to see not only just Ilya, but actual representation that comes to the point of a marriage is phenomenal to me. And I mean, it didn't have to be 2 girls. It could have been 2 guys. It doesn't matter. But I'm glad that they did something with it. You know? I am just really, really happy about that. And I don't know what to use as my thumbnail. There's 3 big options. One idea is the Grim Reaper part. Another idea is when Yang and Weiss are being adorable with the baby. And then there's the third, which is showing Jean's sister and her wife. And I don't know which one to use. I love it, though, when an episode can actually make me really confused about that, when it has 3 good things that are all thumbnail-worthy. But I'll figure that out later. Obviously, you're not seeing this until Saturday anyways. Again, I'm recording this Thursday, so I've got time. But in the meantime, thank you all so much for tuning in. And tell me your thoughts on this episode and everything I mentioned down in the comments below. And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.
And though you've come through many obstacles, shed tears along the way, you're still standing, live, love, laugh.